Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi, that's exciting.
That is exciting. So, I don't know what we have going on here. Are you still in the game?
Yeah. The game
Yeah.
didn't lag at all for me. That's
Oh,
weird.
just owned messed up. Okay. Interesting. It is interesting. So we do see, yeah, some more aggression, but yeah, CLG kind of taking this away, and Urgot going with that, tanky build, all armor pen. Oh wow. But there is going to be a counter gank, so will Urgot get chunked down here? Is still going down on Urgot 2 versus 3. Urgot's able to pick up the kill against Ezreal, and wow, Soraka able to use that wish to save him. Now the Astral Blessing, now the Summoner, and now they're going to pick up another kill on Support Daddy. Might turn this around to be a triple kill, except Rai shows up and does finally take down Urgot. Holy heck.
Yeah,
What a
Rise
nice
finally
by
mentioned that.
Greppo.
But you see just how powerful that Frozen Heart is here on the Urgot. Oh my goodness, able to just tank so much. He was being hit for approximately an hour and a half, and he was just chilling there. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, that was pretty crazy. I mean, obviously he used his ultimate, which gave him even more magic resist and MR. Was able to tank through that initial burst, and yeah, they just went to town. He absolutely went to town, and R was able to free farm middle, take down that middle turret. But yeah, he has the brutalizer and the frozen heart, so going kind of, obviously cooldown reduction and tanky. And with Aurelia as far ahead as she is, Urgot actually doesn't need to do a ton of damage. Obviously he does do plenty of damage, but he doesn't need to be the brunt of his team's damage, because Aurelia would be bringing a lot of true damage in there. And we see an engagement on bottom, and Ari kind of turning the tides on Rise finally, almost taking him down, does take him down all solo, so gets that kill actually unassisted while Rise was heading bottom to help out their team.
Yeah, it caught us a little bit out of position. Of course, that charm allows Ari to get a lot of damage in very quickly. We see Aurelia getting attacked by a lot of targets here. Aurelia almost certainly going to go down. Will she be able to get a kill? She will, just barely manage to get the kill on Nautilus before going down. It looks like Janna is going to come here to try to get a cleanup here. Ari, of course, does not have her ultimate up, is able to put a lot of damage onto that Janna, but it looks like Ari is going to actually go down here. Very nice kill there. It's very important for AL to get those kills.
Right, it looks like CLG.EU just kind of just overextended a little bit, overstayed their welcome as well. I mean, they were pushing down to the inhibitor turret, and it looked like everything was going well, but Ezreal was able to jump over there. Janna came in, also, and that's great. They picked up 2 very important kills. They got the killing spree off of Aurelia, so that is really great for them, but at the same time they lost the bottom turret, so obviously not an ideal situation from them. The gold lead 8,000 in CLG.EU's favor, and every single lane seems to be in trouble. The one lane that was kind of doing well was that Rise versus Ahri, but then suddenly Ahri just kind of turned it around and was able to take him out all on her own. Obviously Rise was not really focused on fighting, was kind of more running away, but still very important. We do see more action down bottom.
Yeah, of course, Ezreal taking about, what are we going to call that, like 3/5 of his life, going down to one little combo there by the bottom lane, and now he's in a very dangerous position. If he chooses to stay, he's definitely in danger of going down to a very quick kind of ult into W combo into Q spam from Urgot, so he has to be very, very careful. That he's not going to be enough to save him if he gets caught out.
Yeah, absolutely, and like you said, 3/5 of his life just from one E to Q combination, and I don't even know how many auto attacks were involved in there. Not too many. So Urgot, despite the fact that he's building a Heart of Gold as well, but despite the fact that he built Brutalizer, one Doran's Blade, and then has built pure tank after that, does a ton of damage. Already kind of caught out of position here though.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there by Ari. He uses that Zhonya's to try to make something happen, try to get her cooldowns back up to put out as much damage as she can, but it's just not going to be enough. I'm a little bit curious about what Ari was actually doing there. I didn't quite see the lead up to that, so we're going to go ahead and just call it a little bit of a mispositioning on Ari's part.
Yeah, perhaps. And they did have wards coming down there, so they knew she was coming down. They actually had 4 people going there. They already had 3 people there, and I think she was aware that there were 3 people in that general vicinity, not including Rise, who was going to pincher her as well.
Oh, would you see an ult here in mid on that Rise? You're going to be able to absolutely get destroyed by CLG.EU. That Skarner ultimate is just so powerful. If you don't have a cleanse, if you don't have a QSS, you're in a lot of danger, boy, if you get caught out.
Yeah, and we did see just flash into that Impale, and there was really no way for Rise to get out. I mean, he actually still has flash, but he just felt, okay, well, at that point he was brought so far out of position that he couldn't get, back to a safe point with flash. So not really a mistake not using flash, but you don't want to use it if you're, pretty certain that you're going to die regardless. And I imagine that he felt he was going to die, no matter which way he tried to escape there.
Yeah, if you are going to die anyway, you always want to try to save that flash for a later escape. You know, it's better to die once than die twice. That is an amazing sentence that I just said. I am so proud of myself with that one.
I'm proud of you as well. I wish we could repeat it.
We did see Ezreal actually taking the red buff here. Going to be able to do quite a bit if anybody gets caught out. If he does manage to get that little harassment on, he's going to be able to put out quite a bit more with that slow. And really nice job here so far by CLG.EU.
Yeah.
CLG.EU.
CLG.EU. Look at these wards in the bottom forest for both teams. They actually have 4 wards overlapping each other, and then they also both have Vision of Race with, you know, separated wards. So there's 6 wards in just the bottom forest. And, you know, I want to point out, like, how, you know, what a great job they are doing at warding up all the areas, but at the same time, they actually have no wards around Baron. Neither team has any wards around Baron, so they're just, like, really focused on having all their fights in that bottom jungle, and I'm sure we're going to see some wards put down near Baron relatively soon, as it is 22 minutes in. That becomes a, you know, point of contention around this time generally. You know, you can't sneak it in as soon as it spawns around 15, but more frequently you wait until like 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, and then go for it. But yeah, like I said, no wards around Baron, all the wards right around that bottom jungle. So Aurelia is actually farming up and is going to back out now because they see people roaming towards her, but bottom lane is very, very safe to play aggressive as you want because you can see people incoming.
Yeah, they definitely want to have kind of ownership of that farming area, and wards are kind of the gateway to do that. But we do see a lot of really great warding here in the top jungle as well by CLG.EU. Just doing a very nice job of controlling that map as much as they can.
Right, so they don't actually need to ward Baron because they have so many offensive wards that if, you know, anyone tries to make a move towards Baron, they'll notice them walking that way, or they'll have to go through middle. So one way or another, they are going to get spotted. We see Froggen just kind of camping out in this bush, really taking their time. Does land that charm on Nautilus. Probably not the ideal, you know, champion to land a, you know, offensive skill set on. He is pretty tanky. Does have the Glacial Shroud already, Heart of Gold, Philosopher's Stone, and Merc Treads. And it looks like they're going to try to take this Baron here. Ezreal is going to ultimate up towards Baron, so they're going to get sight that it is happening, and now the Mad Rush is on. Mad Rush to get there is on. Ryze actually stops to throw an Overload at one of the minions in middle before heading up there, but because of the sight, the, you know, CLG does back off, and now...
we do have this Skarner ultimate going on. Nautilus in the middle of everybody. Gonna try to just get away with the Q. We do have Aurelia still walking to the fight. This is no Aurelia. If Aurelia was actually there, they probably would have gotten a fairly easy kill on at least 1 or 2 targets. Of course, that dash really allows her to move around in the team fight. But Aurelia now coming in, so they're going to be able to go back in and pressure this Baron, I feel like. You know, AL getting caught out once again by the charm. Ooh, the Urgot swap at max range. Of course, the displacement not happening, but the swap still happening. And, I'm sorry, the hold not happening. There we go.
Right.
Are going to try to pick up this Janna, misses her Q, and just flashes away. Doesn't want to be in any kind of dangerous position here. And so now, what does CLG.EU choose to do at this moment? Are they going to try to do the Baron? Are they just going to go ahead and take this blue, take a little bit of jungle farm, and move out of there?
It looks like Wicked's, you know, soloing the Baron right now. He is chunking it down. And that, yeah, that's the weird thing you mentioned. Aurelia's not around. Well, Aurelia's probably going to do the most damage to Baron out of anyone on the team, so not having her there for their initial attempt was kind of bad. And now she's actually chunked down to a quarter life, but it looks like they're going to engage anyway. Yeah,
we do see Aurelia stayed and picked up a Triforce, which lets her come into this fight doing a lot of damage. See a lot of damage coming out to Ezreal as well. They're just not able to stay in the fight. Anybody that goes into the fight is immediately brought down to about 10% HP and has to run away. And you see just CLG.EU continuing to pressure this fight as much as they can. Ezreal going to try to back. And they're going to go back in and try Baron once again? Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, this is like a dangerous game that they're playing. Everyone's getting low on both sides of the team. Ezreal had to go back. I thought Ezreal was in a fabulous position because he did land his ultimate on just about everyone there. True Shot Barrage hit everyone, but then Ezreal was able to be poked down just from long range, almost died. I don't even know what hit him. Must have been an Orb of Deception. I think it was Aurelia's Transcendent Blades, her ultimate as well, was just chunking him down, you know, from range where he thought he was safe. Uh-oh.
Urgot ultimate, pretty good. So, Terry, I don't know if you knew that or not.
Engaging.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. And even pros get caught by it. It's just so hard to stay out of that range, especially once he gets a couple levels under his belt. Level 2, range increases, or level 11 rather, and then level 16, going to get even harder to avoid that flash ultimate combination. But of course, he didn't even have to flash there, so still has that up, still has exhaust as well. And Skarner still has his ultimate.
Yep, he does have his Flash ultimate ready to go. If he wants to use it here on Rise, it could be a very strong pickoff. Looks like Janna is going to go ahead and pull them out. Ari initiating very, very aggressive here. She does have that Zoni as a kind of protector if she gets caught in too bad of a spot. And it looks like they are going to continue the hunt. This Janna getting surrounded as well as the Rise. Rise getting initiated by the Aurelia, taking a ton of damage. Going to go down very, very quickly. Of course, 2 Wicked on that Aurelia, and Janna going to go down as well. Olaf and Ezreal did manage to get away. Ezreal sneaking a little bit of a Wraith farm there.
Ezreal taking some Wraiths. Very important. I mean, at this point, you know, they're probably a little bit disheartened. They're probably going to lose this Baron. Don't really have a great chance to counter it if CLG.EU went for it right away, but they're actually on the hunt after that Ezreal. They do decide to turn back around now. Might go for it. They are all low, so I think they can get this. Obviously, 2 members of AL.NA still down, and it doesn't look like they have any vision, and they're, in general, just afraid to do it, and there actually is the surrender. So really interesting plays and strategy all throughout there, just camping that Baron for so long and picking up kills here and there, and just kind of making the whole game about that Baron, and then slowly whittling down AL.NA, and then completely eradicating their will to play any further, at least in that game. So CLG.EU moves to 2-1 in this tournament, and they will be a feature of our next game as well.
Oh my god, that Wicked on Aurelia is so good, and you see how powerful it is. If 2 lanes manage to have a lot of early aggression, a lot of early pressure, it's very difficult for the other team to kind of work around it. We saw Nautilus wasn't able to be everywhere at once, and when he was somewhere, he wasn't able to really handle the situation very well. He wasn't able to capitalize on the current situations. He did a lot of standing around. He did a lot of ganks that didn't capitalize into kills. And from there, you know, if you're bot lane, top lane just continues to snowball and snowball and snowball, and that's what we see right now with a 10.2k farm Aurelia.
Yeah, absolutely. 8-1, just too good. And I think, you know, throughout the rest of the tournament, we might see 2 targeted bans. Of course, Froggen will still get that Anivia ban, but we might have to see some Aurelia bans because, you know, Aurelia was locked in, and they actually, I believe, picked Olaf after Aurelia. They're like,
And I suspect I've lost. Oh,
you did not lose me. Actually, I was copying and pasting that screenshot and accidentally muted myself. So I was saying yes. I was waxing poetic about how awesome Wicked's Aurelia was, and saying that in the future we'll probably see some targeted bans against that Aurelia. Of course, in the past that was like, you know, the #1 ban you had against CLG.EU was Aurelia, and then, you know, as a secondary measure, might have been Froggen's Anivia, but now, of course, Froggen's Anivia has gone legendary so many times that people, it's like a thing of legends now. It's a thing of myth that you cannot let it be played, whereas, you know, apparently you're going to let Wicked get Aurelia, and he's going to still go to town on you, so we might see that banned out in future games in this tournament.
yeah, it wouldn't be too surprising if we did see that coming in the future. But of course, you know, it's difficult to ban out everybody on a team. You have to make your choices about what lanes you really need to ban out and whose champions actually let them pick up. But yeah, it was a really great game. Looks like we are going to have a little bit of a break before the next game, question mark?
I do not know. I mean, I think we'd like to get them going as soon as possible, but we have to hear from the bosses. So let's get word from them, and then we'll be right back.
Alright, so we're going to play a quick ad, and we will be right on back.